out of here.
Care.
Nobody cares.
Does Fortune Feimster favor the bold?
Always. All right. Here comes the deal. We're going to do it.
Okay. All right.
It starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Jesse Ventura. Eat Uncle Brewster's chicken sandwiches. 9/11 was an inside job.
Do I smell the stink of jealousy?
I lost my daughter to the abyss, but tonight I'm calling her back. This is the morning stream.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to TMS. It is the morning stream for February 11th, 2021. Wait, so that's 2/11/21.
21121.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like broken binary is what it is.
Yeah, I like that one. That's pretty good. That'll bring the whole system down if you put that in your computer.
What do we have? 212. 21221 that'll be tomorrow. That's not bad. That's a pretty good one.
Not bad. That's my favorite Rush album. Pretty good stuff.
22121 later on this month.
Yeah, with Geddy Lee singing and
Fly by night, change my life again.
that might be my favorite one he sings. Because most of the
Fly
time,
by Night, that's such a great song.
I just think Rush suffers from. How do I put this? I like Rush, but I think Geddy Lee's kind of annoying a lot of times. His voice,
really?
his vocals,
okay.
Yeah, they've always kind of annoyed me because it's just kind of like it's just kind of a
just he sings in a higher register.
Yeah, I don't know why.
How do you feel about the Crash Test Dummies?
I love those guys. With the whole
so you're okay with Brad Roberts, you're not okay with Geddy Lee, is what you're saying.
I'm not saying I'm not okay. They're one of the greatest all-time rock bands of all time, but I don't know. It's
Small
like, you know
doses?
what it's like?
I don't know what are you saying?
It's a little bit like David Lee Roth. This is another controversial statement.
Okay.
His voice drives me crazy. It just does. And I love Van Halen, and especially love the early stuff, but Dave's not the strong point for me. Never was. Just kind of a annoying guy going, I don't know. It may be a me thing. It's a me thing. I'm fine. I'll admit
it's a you thing. You are entitled. Listen, you're entitled to your choice.
Yeah.
And if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
There you go. You're absolutely right. I also made another choice. I made a choice that I'm kind of regretful now, because now I wish I wouldn't have been so grossed out and would have saved it for the show. But I found a tooth in the yard, a human tooth.
A tooth? You're sure it was a human tooth?
Positive. No, not. Well, I guess I can't be positive. But it looked human to me. It looked like a molar, and I guess dogs have similar molars. So it's entirely possible this was a dog molar, but this was like a deep-rooted, tooth-ass-looking tooth. Like a tooth that got extracted.
But a molar, right? With like the 4 little prongs coming out of the bottom.
Yes, like that.
Like when you draw a cartoon of a tooth,
that is the
tooth you draw.
Exactly. Yeah. It's almost got it's got legs, and it's got a big smiley face because it's happy to have no plaque or whatever the cartoon is.
Yeah.
So I found that in the yard. And I was like, ugh! And the reason I found it, I was out there cleaning up the dog poo, because dogs poo and you got to clean it up. So I did a bunch of that. And in there, not in the poo, but in the just like laying there on the grass was a what I believe to be a human tooth. And the reason that I don't think it was either of the dogs is because Rainer's teeth are too small, but I also went and checked both their mouths to see if they were missing anything, and neither dog were missing any teeth. So I don't know why there's a human tooth in my backyard.
It's not one of Van's Tooth Fairy said, okay, here's your buck, and pew,
nope,
toss it in the yard.
Too big for him, too big for Rainer, too big for, and he hasn't lost any teeth yet. He's still, what? I guess he doesn't start losing teeth till 4.
Yeah,
whenever that happens.
Right, not for a little while.
Yeah. So he's got his chompers for a bit. It's weird.
Is there I guess you couldn't tell me if there was a secret fight club in your backyard because of rule number 1.
Right. That rule says even if I told you that, would I even be telling you the truth? Because I'm not allowed to tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I don't have an explanation.
Sort of. That's sort of what the rule is.
Yeah, that's kind of the rule. But I'm just gonna throw it out there to the world. If y'all are listening to this and you're like, "Hey, I know what that is. That's from whatever." Let me know.
They're not going to be able to tell you. Oh yeah, that happens. It's lawn teeth. They grow out of it. It's something that to use Scott's turf builder. Yeah, that's what that comes from, Scott.
Yeah. Scott's turf builder, lawn teeth. Maybe my neighbor's weird. They listen to this show, so maybe they'll hear this. Maybe they did it. You know.
But the question, and you even ask it in here, should you have given it to somebody? That my first thought would have been, no, it's just a tooth. And it's not like you can use one tooth to trace dental records or something if there's a missing person under your sod.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that. What if there's more? What if there's more parts somewhere?
Yeah, do you have like a metal detector? I guess a metal detector wouldn't really do much.
I need a bone detector, Brian.
Bone detector.
Bone detector.
I think they offer those shirts at bachelorette parties. I'll see if I can get you one.
So I was thinking like, I will say it passed over my head that I should put this in a little bag and take it to the local authority. Because what if it is a piece? I mean, I don't know. But I was too freaked out. I went, ew, gross. And I threw it in the can.
There's part of me that thinks that as soon as you left, I found this bone in my backyard or this tooth. I don't know if you guys want to do anything with it. Oh, thank you, sir. Okay, yes, we sure will. Thank you for your diligence. As soon as you walk out the door, chunk, right in the trash can. Doofus.
It's like the ones that go, all right.
They'll sit and impersonate you for half an hour. Hey, would you guys like this tooth I found in my backyard?
And then they throw it away.
Yes,
but it's just like they do when someone steals your bike. Oh yes, sir. We'll get right on that. We're gonna find the guy.
Okay, got your form. Thank you. All right, we'll keep an eye out for it. Thank you very much. Wad.
Yep. And look, if I was a true believer in the tooth fairy, that thing would be under my pillow, but I'm not.
Let's see what you can get.
Yeah, I'm a tooth fairy
it's
atheist.
Not mine, tooth fairy.
That's right. I don't believe in that crap. All right, hey, look at this. We got an email from Tanner Goodman. Tanner Goodman.
Right. Tanner Goodman.
Yep, he is a good man. He wrote scandalous and bewildered. That's us.
Ooh, I'm bewildered.
Yeah, I'm scandalous. What we can do.
I'm bewitched, bothered, and bewildered.
There you go. You're what was the lady on Bewitched called? What was her name?
Elizabeth. The Samantha was the character.
That's right, but she was Elizabeth Montgomery in.
That's right.
Bewitched.
That's right. One division. No, that's not it anymore.
I really liked all those throwbacks. All right, anyways.
Yeah.
He says this. I would like to say that a statement you made on episode 2065, that was yesterday, was wildly incorrect.
Oh my gosh. I love it when we get corrections on this show.
Yeah, I do as well.
We like to be factual and I'm talking while I'm pouring coffee. I really shouldn't do that.
All right, you're a coffee.
But we like
talker.
to be factual. Period.
You're a
Scott,
talker.
over to you.
You're a coffee pourer talker.
Pressing the return key, Scott. Over to you.
Oh yeah, that's how it works. I learned that's how it works. All right.
Yes.
Now I will compute. Beep boop beep. Anyway, and you know what? To preface the rest of his email, I should make this clear, and I think a lot of people already know this. If you know Tanner, is one of the nicest, sweetest guys in our community. Tanner is a gay man. Okay, so that matters because what I'm about to say will make more sense. All right, I just wanted to put that out there.
All right.
He likes dudes. He's married to a dude.
He does. No, he does. But I don't think that matters for this because of we said that Tom Holland is cute. Well, I guess I'm spilling the candy in the lobby. Let's get to the letter.
Okay.
Let's go to the tape.
And for the record, yesterday. Can we also do that other thing I love in podcasts where people go, sorry, Scott. This is Scott talking, and then they always announce that it's you who's saying the next thing. Love that.
Tony P here. I want to ask about the review that we just got. Nobody knows that reference now, but Tony P. Henderson, contestant America's Top Podcaster, begins everything with Tony P. here.
Yeah, they'll know. He'll know soon.
Which I love.
Yeah, he's great. But that doesn't mean I'm voting for you, so keep it up. Keep up the hard work.
No, exactly. Yeah, it plays nothing.
Yeah, I'm not giving you any. No one's getting the easy way this year. Anyway, he says, you describe Tom Holland as cute. There is no way on God's green earth that when you see Mr. Holland as Nathan Drake, you don't say, damn, he's fine as hell. That's his quote.
Yeah.
It says, it's okay, I forgive you on this one this time, just to remind you of how damn sexy he is. Here's a photo. And the photo he gave was that promo photo where he's Nathan Drake standing there looking all adventure-y. And,
I'm
stuff.
pulling it up because, right.
Yeah,
Basically,
it's like the one shot where he put it up on Instagram to tell everybody, yep, we're filming, this movie's happening, so on and so forth. Anyway.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that, Tanner. He's damn handsome in that photo. And he doesn't look like the cute little Peter Parker.
But you're not going to look at him and go, damn, he's fine as hell.
Damn, he fine. No, I'm...
You're never going to do that.
No, but I wouldn't use those words normally. I'd say, oh, yeah, he's a handsome man.
Yeah, he's a good-looking dude.
But he does look like he's 17, like playing dress-up cosplay Nathan Drake.
How old is he?
Put your Spider-Man costume back on, Peter Parker. No one's going to buy that you're a video game character. They don't have video game characters in Spider-Man. What?
So he's born in 96. He's 24, but he looks 17. That's just his deal.
He does.
24-year-old handsome young man.
Yes,
taking the world by the storm. Anyway, we appreciate that.
People in the chat room want to see the photo.
Oh, I don't want to go find it.
Okay. Well, I can give you this one. You want this one?
Hold on. I think I may have it faster than I thought.
There you go. If you get right there.
I'd like to
Just
complain.
right in our Discord. Boom diggity.
Okay.
I could actually just put that same link in the chat. Want me to do that?
Yeah, do that. Then they can just see it.
There you go. And then they can download it, enjoy it.
I guess they're people on
do whatever
YouTube.
they need to do with it.
Here you go, YouTube. This is it. That's the picture. And yeah, he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
I've seen him with his shirt off. He could bench press me. I get it.
So then who's cute? You know, if Tom Holland has graduated from Crute to Damn He Fine, then
Crute?
who's our new cute? Is it still Harry Styles? Is Harry Styles still cute?
No. He's starting to look weird
because of his dumb hair.
Yeah, he's starting to look funny. I don't know what is cute by today's standards. I'd have to be of the Bieber's cute.
No, Bieber's not cute. Listen, he's doing the little porn stash thing, and he's actually looking. He's gone from being, oh yeah, all right, he's a cute kid, to being, wow, he's kind of turned into a little bit of a creepy dude.
Yeah,
creepy looking dude.
Yeah, it freaks me out a little bit.
The porn stash is a little. He's looking like Simon on that season of Walking Dead with Negan's Negan's group.
My wife would tell you that Post Malone is cute because
with all the stuff all over his face.
Yeah, because there's something cuddly and grinny and sweet about him.
Okay, all right.
Because
while you're kissing him, you've got something to read.
Yeah, and we're also talking about cute, not like she doesn't look at him and go, ooh, he's hot. She sees him as just go, oh, he's so cute.
Post Malone. Okay, see now, there you go. Post Malone. So not handsome, but he's an older man.
Well, he's like same age, like 24 and 26.
He's 25.
Whatever. Yeah. He's
pretty young. Okay. All right.
But he's the kind of, but she always says this. It's like, oh, if I knew him, he'd be eating here every night. We'd feed him. We'd take care of him. I'd give him a haircut when he needed one. Like she thinks of him as like a lost puppy kind of type, which is so weird.
Come here. It was she take a napkin, like rub it on her tongue, and then try to wipe the stuff
totally,
out. Let's clean your face up.
Yeah. Oh, this up here is just Sharpie, right? Let's just get that off. Did you see that?
Did you fall asleep at a frat party? Let me clean this up for you.
Did you see that Pokemon announcement? He's doing some virtual
that he's
concert.
Singing, yes.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. So Pokemon Day. What is it? The 20th?
Yeah. Next week. Yeah.
I've bought my ticket, so it's the same day as the first day of BlizzCon Line, right?
Second day, 19th and 20th.
Second day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm telling Tina, I'm gonna be regressing for the next day. I'm gonna be watching BlizzCon. I'm gonna be watching people talk about World of Warcraft while I try and catch 1,000 shiny Pikachus. So
there you go.
You go ahead and do whatever you need to do.
Let me just say to our community, without saying too much. There's a reason you're going to want to watch BlizzCon online over the next weekend. It's all free, so you don't need to avoid, you don't have to pay for it. So just saying.
Is there a reason?
I can't. I'm not saying. I can't
go
say.
any further than that.
Nope. That's all I can say.
I can get more out of you.
All right, go for it.
Is there someone on this show with you and me that is going to be making an appearance as part of BlizzCon line?
Brian Dunaway will be making boy, you're right. You could squeeze things out of me. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea.
You didn't say no. You didn't say no right away, and that makes me think, oh, no, it's something else, Brian. It's something
I'll say this for sure. Brian, 100%. Brian Dunaway Brian Ibbett is not on BlizzCon. He's not in BlizzCon.
I'm definitely not. I'm not going to be doing anything. No, unless they have a panel of people trying to catch 1,000 shiny Pikachus. In that case, yes, I'll be there. And
but did you see cartoon Post Malone? He's kind of cool looking. It looks like a Fortnite guy. Kind of a
kind of does.
Yeah, right. Except they shaved him because I think
they were disturbing actually.
Yeah, he's a little bit. It's a little weird. And they kept all of his his tattoos on. They didn't remove any of it.
I like that.
Yeah.
So every once in a while they have event Pokemon, like around Christmas time they'll have Pokemon or Pikachu with a Santa hat, or spring they'll have Bulbasaur wearing Cubone's skull or something like that.
Yeah.
For Post Malone, can we maybe get a Charmander with tattoos on his face?
Well,
can we get that?
Isn't there a sunflower flora? Sunflora. Isn't there a Pokemon called Sunflora?
Something like that. Yeah.
So then you just do his sunflower song with it.
Right,
yeah.
There you go. Is it called Sunflower? What is it? It's
Flora.
There is a sunflower looking Pokemon. Is it Sunflower?
Is it Flora? I don't know. See, this is
that's so many generations ago.
I'm out of my
Sunflower, yeah, there it is right there. Look at that.
Sunflora. Okay. Oh yeah, there she is.
Oh yeah.
You're my sunflower.
Actually, it wouldn't be too hard to actually add some Post Malone tattoos to Sunflora's face.
Yeah, he's got a big pie face, like he does. Nothing wrong with a pie face.
Sunflora does. Yes.
Sunflower does, yeah. I mean, he kind of does too. But it's fine. Like we have room on the face is what
we have room. There's room. There's room. We can draw whatever we want on there.
All right, Brian, finally, I need you to help me decipher this phone call.
Ooh, excellent. All right, we put on the CSI.
Yep.
Putting on the CSI button-up shirt.
Yep.
Top button unbuttoned, tie loosened just enough.
Yep.
Sleeves rolled up. Dark room with just a single light over the tape recorder.
Yep.
All right.
Get your black light out as well. We may as well do that as while we're here.
All right, sure. Ew, what's this all over the table?
All right, I get this. This is weird.
Coffee
yesterday,
creamer.
before I got up, it was like between 5:30 and 6:30 in the morning, and I meant to play it yesterday. I totally forgot. 24 in a row, prank calls.
Oh, geez.
No, I'm sorry, not prank calls. Spam
Wrong
calls.
numbers?
Spam
calls. Okay. All
and
right.
every one of them in the records said spam risk, whatever, like they do. And I didn't hear any of them because my phone's set to ignore all that stuff till 7 a.m. So I wouldn't even have heard the rings or whatever. It just ignores it. And so all of them came through. About 6 of those 25 left some form of voicemail, none of them speaking. And it was all just rustling sounds, but the one of them has the sound of somebody saying a thing.
Okay.
And I want you to help me understand it. It's only 1.9 seconds long. It's very short. But we're going to try to decipher this together. So chat room, be listening. Brian's ready. Here we go.
I'm ready.
This is what he said.
Hey,
Okay. Let me play that again. Here we go.
Hey,
Any ideas?
It sounds like he's got a Popeye's spicy chicken sandwich that he's trying to swallow.
Someone in the chat says it translates to greetings from India because they all come from there for some reason. But that is not it. Let me try it one more time. It almost sounds like reverse language or reverse recording.
I've got 0 on that
Okay.
one.
So nobody knows. Nobody?
Mm-mm.
Nobody in the chat?
No, nobody.
Oh, play it backwards. They want it backwards? Oh, this is hard though.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
Hold on. Let me. Shut up. Your echo thinks you're talking to her. Did you notice that?
No, you reminded me that I needed to call my Google Voice number, else I'm going to lose my phone number.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. All right, I'm going to reverse this. Let's do it.
All right.
Hold on 1 second. It means I have to pause the show, but it'll only take a second. All right. Reverse. All right, now I got to export it. Or no, I'll just save it out. Okay, here we go. Let's get back into the show here. There we go. All right, we're now going to hear the file reversed live on the show. Let's go ahead and do that. Hold on. I'm sorry, I'm not in the right place. Okay, there we go. All right, here comes reverse of that sound. Well, that didn't help.
Nah, it didn't help at all.
That didn't help at all.
We really thought it would, but no, it didn't, oddly enough.
I was hoping it would say something, anything. Here it is if you speed it up, though.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. It sounds like you saying
Oh, now it's all becoming clear.
Oh.
That's right. I did call you, and I had just taken some Quaaludes, so that explains it.
Well, then, okay, if that's sped up, let's slow it down. Okay, now here's what it says when it's slowed down.
What?
Oh, okay. Well, now I'm starting to think that guy just had the wrong number. Fantastic. All right. Well done, everybody. Today's hard work of finding out what that call said is over. We don't know is the bottom line.
We don't know.
Yeah. And we don't care.
That's too. It doesn't give us enough, so I can't zoom in and enhance into that one, I'm afraid.
No, it's not going to work. But here's what does work. A little bit of this.
I think science is cool.
Science is cool, and joining us as he does now on Thursdays is Bobby Frankenberger, who's going to talk to us a little bit about more science. Hi, Bobby. Welcome.
Hello. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby.
How's life?
I guess I just
welcome us.
welcomed you.
Yeah, you welcomed us.
Yeah, you can't welcome us. What are you?
Yeah, you're not trapped in
you
here with
doing
us.
my
show now.
Are you
No,
doing a podcast as well?
How does that go? I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. That's how it goes. Yeah.
I have a question for you guys real fast.
Go ahead.
How many murders do you think go unsolved because someone found something in their backyard and they were like, ew, gross, and threw it in the trash?
I mean, it's a fair question. It's crossed my mind since. I was like, oh, wait a minute. What if I just threw away like the most important evidence?
That number is exactly 17.
Yeah.
17 unsolved murders because somebody got grossed out by a tooth they found in their backyard.
So specific, Brian. So specific.
Yeah,
Here's a prime number too.
I've done the legwork. I've done the research and stand behind it.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's my question. If I still feel that, let's say I felt really strongly that I had tossed some possible evidence into the trash, I could just say, hey, police people, check out this garbage can. I hear there's a tooth in there. Go for it. And then go digging around and find it. You know
right,
I mean?
and then they say, "Oh, well, let's find out who this garbage can belongs to." Mr. Scott Johnson. I remember seeing his name on the news years ago, related to another murder.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was Peterson. No, it was Johnson. It was definitely Johnson, not Peterson.
Johnson.
You know, now that I think about it, I think I'm just going to let that one go. Just going to let that tooth go. And then, you know what? One day someone will be sifting through the landfill and go, "A tooth?
Right?
What the frick?" And then they can worry about it. Then, okay.
It's a good thing your obstruction of justice has not been recorded on the internet.
Exactly. Yes. What we basically just told the police is, you can't handle the tooth.
Yeah, you can't handle the tooth.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I did it again right before I Am Sci-Fi. Right before I did it before him.
Yeah, you did. I saw it. I can prove it. And also, way to bring it down with a good finisher. That was good. That was your finishing move.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we can move on to the science. All right, so I was digging around I like to look at stuff during the week. I have a couple of science feeds I follow, and something jumped out at me, and I talked to Bobby about it, and we thought it might be interesting to talk about. So humans, in the last year or so, have gotten real used to this idea of being a little bit isolated, right? And we don't love it. Like, even if you're the most introverted person and love your alone time, human beings still need the interaction of other human beings. And the longer it goes, the harder it is. And yes, we can sort of make up for it a little bit with Zoom calls and hanging out virtually. And, Brian's got his weird neighbors he can hang out with because they're just as careful as they are and things like that. You have these, you have some opportunity within there, but no longer do you have the, hey, let's all 12 of us meet up at our favorite bar and hang out tonight or whatever. Like, those things are on hold. And turns out we're not the only creatures under the sun who have this problem. And there was this study on nature.com about giraffes, specifically female giraffes. They need each other, man. They can't just wander around on their own. If you isolate one, they end up dying like way earlier than all the other ones. And I thought that was an interesting combination. What do you make of not only our need for companionship, but animals as well?
So the social nature of animals is studied quite a lot and is also incredibly complicated. The reasons why, how they do it, and all that kind of stuff. The thing about the giraffes was very narrow, and it's specifically about female giraffes. First of all, like you said that, and that if they when they're spending time with other giraffes, they have a higher chance of survival than isolated ones. And it seems to be, from the study, that it's because of the being around other giraffes increases the likelihood that they will be able to find food and forage and stuff like that.
Right.
But it should be noted that in the study, they did note that there are plenty of giraffes that spend time by themselves. First of all, male giraffes are more known to be isolated than females, so that happens. But some female giraffes were observed being by themselves whenever but they would hang out around livestock farms.
Oh, weird.
And
like hanging out with cows and stuff, or
just livestock in general. And they think it's because of the prevalence of like grasses and grazing opportunities. And those giraffes, even though they were isolated, they didn't have a decreased likelihood of survival. And that evidence leads them to think even more that the reason that being in a group is because it helps increase the foraging for food, because the isolated ones that were surviving were near easy access to food.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I have to assume that our need for communion with each other isn't all that different, because our need to survive is similar evolutionarily speaking, right? Maybe not so much today.
Yeah, if you see a big crowd, you know that there's probably food there.
Right. But it's not like like if me and Brian wanted to go get a hamburger, we could do that now, and that's like a simplified, ridiculous modern version of what used to be I counted on Brian on gathering the berries while I went out and killed the goat, and then together we had enough to make it through the winter. You know what I mean? Like that would have been a survival need. Now it's more of the social part stayed, and we're not going to die if we don't go to Burger King today. But isn't that kind of our modern version of it? We just evolved sort of past the need for the day-to-day scraping for what little we can get.
Certainly, that's probably the pressure. I mean, evolution in general is driven by what they call it fitness pressures in evolutionary science, and fitness just means how likely are you to survive and pass your genes on to the next, right? So, survival, of course, is where it all comes from. But human socialization is far more complicated. First of all, studying socialization in animals is really interesting because of the fact that it's actually really kind of rare. We know of a lot of animals that socialize because those are there's a term they call it, but they're the animals we like. They're the cute ones that hang out together and you see them more because they gather in groups. But socializing in animals is more rare than I think we realize. And so understanding why the animals that do congregate, why they do it, helps us understand just in general, like evolutionary pressures.
Sure.
For it.
Which is interesting because now it's not like you have too many giraffes that are like, I mean, obviously there are giraffes in the wild. At least I hope there are.
You don't see giraffes. At least I don't think so. In places where they could just go hang out with cows, right? Right. You'll see a lot of cows on the Serengeti or the savannah. I'm trying to remember where I've hung out with giraffes before.
At the zoo.
Yeah.
At the zoo.
Yeah,
yes,
and we called them
exactly.
giraffes. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's giraffe. Just kidding. It's not
giraffes.
Giraffe.
Hard G.
We're not going to get into our GIF fight ever again on this show. Or not that we had one. But anyway, the point is, that's my only exposure to them, right? But I guess if you went on some African safari, you'd bump into giraffes. And now that I think about it, I've never seen. Oh, this is interesting. I've never seen a nature documentary, in person at a zoo, or any other context have I ever seen a giraffe by itself. They're always knocking around with more than one.
Yeah.
With other giraffes. Yeah.
With other giraffes. Right. I don't mean, hey, there's one hanging out with a polar bear. Weird. Not like that. But
Interesting. Swimming with the whales.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Well,
Interesting about giraffes, the groups that they tend to congregate in are often matrilineally related, which means they're often just groups of people that all come from the same mother, like line of ancestry through mothers.
Oh, really?
Not sure why that is. It probably has to do with rearing of children and stuff, and maybe the males end up leaving to go spread their giraffe seed.
Oh God. Seriously.
Good job there.
Those guys are always moving their seed around, those bastards.
Yeah. So the reason why, really interesting, I was looking into this, preparing for us to talk, and I found something really interesting about the fact that, socialization in animals is rare and it hasn't evolved that often. And the analysis of that actually makes make a lot of sense. If you think about it, members of the same species are actually the closest competitors for resources. So that's one of the reasons why you don't see it very often. They're competing for food and mating and shelter and all that kind of stuff. So these are limited resources in nature. So it makes sense for you not to all be in the same place, because then you would have to compete with each other because you all have the same demands compared to like other species.
Sure.
Also, groups of animals are easier to spot for predators to spot. So it makes sense to stay separated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but giraffes don't maintain that low a profile on their own.
Right. They're
Well,
not
that's
like
fair.
all ducked
They're in the
down.
middle of like a desert and they're 20 feet tall.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. I like a giraffe is what I'm getting at. That's my main takeaway here.
The last bit though with humans, we were talking about the human connection, right? We have a unique combination. I don't want to say unique. Unique implies that literally we're the only ones, but I think there might be a small handful of species that share all this. But very rare combination of three social features, which is we socially cooperate, we coordinate, and we have division of labor. And all three of those things makes us a very rare combination and that probably all of them feed into each other, which causes the very complex social structures that we have.
Sure. Well, be like a giraffe and have friends is what we're saying. That's the bottom line.
Yes.
Unless it's Pokemon Day, in which case, be isolated, alone, and watch BlizzCon online and play Pokemon all day
There you
long.
go. That's
But
exactly
do it
right.
by a farm, a livestock farm.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah. You'll never go without. Speaking of not going without, more people can get more science information if they just listen to your podcast. Tell people where they can find it.
It's called All Around Science. We talk all about science stuff all the time. It's me and my co-host Maura, and we just kind of generally geek out about science stuff. A couple episodes, episode 22, I think it was a week or two ago, we did a cool topic that people here might listen to. Speaking of Therapy Thursday, obviously people like hearing about psychology stuff because they love listening to Wendy.
Yeah.
But we did an episode where we talked about conspiracy theories, and you guys have talked about that before, and we tackled it from a slightly different angle, which is not where do conspiracy theories originate from, but we asked the question, if there's so much evidence out there that refutes conspiracy theories, why do people still believe in them? And so we dug into that a bit.
Yeah,
I was at breakfast last Friday morning. I texted Scott about this, but I didn't talk about it on the show. Who was talking about vaccines and masks, and he was anti the latter and thought that there was some big government cover up with Biden losing 20 million vaccines or something. And it says, some people tell me it's a conspiracy theory, but my opinion is if it's a conspiracy, it's not a theory.
I forgot how that was worded. Oh, I put it out of my mind. It's so bad.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So bad.
All right. Well, and the last thing I did want to say before I go, because I know the Johnson phone call ending is going to come soon.
Oh, it comes fast, dude. You never know.
Next week, a week from today, Thursday, February 18th, and I'll mention it again when I'm on next week, but I wanted podcast listeners to have an opportunity to hear this. At 1 p.m. Eastern, right after this stream, we're going to be having a live stream on our Facebook page, All Around Science, where we're going to be recording a live episode that week, but it's going to be to watch the Perseverance rover land on Mars.
Ooh,
cool.
That's cool.
We're going to watch it as it happens and cross our fingers and hope that nothing goes wrong.
I didn't know they'd send another one up there. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep, it's on its way. It's almost there.
So are there any currently still active rovers on Mars, or have all the other ones?
I thought one of them was still sending stuff back. No?
There is one that's still sending it stuff back. I can't remember what it's called. Tune in next week to find out.
Yeah, you'll find out. That'll be great. And I'm sure there'll be no controversies about how this is all filmed in a backlot in Hollywood. All right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you later. He's right. I am fast. I'll kick him out of here real quick.
Curiosity. That's right. The Curiosity rover. Okay.
That one's still going, I found some rocks.
Water.
Water. Do you have water?
Dagobah system.
That's good stuff. All right.
Thank you very much.
Let's do this real quick. A quick news brief brought to you by...
Well, that's right, Scott. Coverville today celebrating the birthdays of Gene Pitney and Feist. Gene Pitney would have been 80 years old, I believe. Wow. Here's a funny thing. My notes said 1941. This thing says 1940. So maybe he would have been 89 or 79. We'll find out though, or 81, I guess it would be one extra year. If you're...
Sorry.
You know the songs Town Without Pity? It's such a what Town Without Pity can do.
Nope.
Hello, Mary Lou by Rick Nelson. He's a Rebel by the Crystals. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Oh.
Anyway, classic old singer. And you'll hear new performers like Fountains of Wayne and Queen covering Gene Pitney on today's show. Also celebrating the music of Feist, who turns, I think, 40. That I don't have in front of me, but she's awesome. And I don't know if that's her. I guess that's her last name, Leslie Feist. And
is that her last
really
name?
Is. Right. She really is turning 45. I did not get that one wrong.
She is a super interesting person.
She is.
Yeah.
She really needs. Just cut those bangs, Feist. Come on. Can you see?
Those are way down there. Yeah. I mean, even...
No, she's great.
Even Zooey Deschanel is like, dude, cut your freaking bangs. What are you doing?
That's right. Oh, on some very good. She's turning 1, 2, 3, 45.
Yep. There you go.
Tell me that you love me more.
Very good. Very good.
I like Feist.
Yeah, Feist is good. All right, check that out later today. 1 p.m.
Today, 1 p.m. Mountain Time at twitch.tv/Coverville. That's the important stuff. That's the thing you need.
Sure. There's this story I meant to do yesterday because it was in line with our Jamaican flag problem.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and read it today. Jamaica faces a marijuana shortage as the farmers struggle, which seems weird given all the availability of new pot up here in the States. Yeah, there's a chance to really go for it, but maybe that's just for companies in the States. I don't know how that works.
Well, what's making the farmers struggle? I guess we're going to find out.
We sure are. Heavy rains followed by an extended drought, an increase in local consumption, and a drop in the number of marijuana farmers has caused a shortage in the island famed for its largely illegal market that experts say is the worst they've ever seen. Quote, "It's a cultural embarrassment," says Tristan Thompson. He probably said, "It's a cultural embarrassment, man.
It's a cultural embarrassment."
Very good. That was better than mine.
Yeah, whatever.
How you doing, ma? Everything I know about Jamaican accents I learned from World of Warcraft, so what are you going to do? Jamaica, which foreigners have long associated with pot, reggae, and Rastafarians, authorized a regulated medical marijuana industry and decriminalized small amounts of weed in 2015. People caught with 2 ounces or 56 grams or less of cannabis are supposed to pay a small fine and face no arrest or criminal record. The island also allows individuals to cultivate up to 5 plants, and Rastafarians are legally allowed to smoke ganja for sacramental purposes. You know, like spiritually, whatever
Yeah.
BS you want to make up. You could go, listen, man,
It's
I
my
belong-
religious right.
yeah, I
Mom.
belong to the church of the smoking of the pot sea. You just smoke the pot.
So so one of the problems, I mean, obviously the weather problems are big, but the fact that they're getting high on their own supply is
Yep.
a little bit of a problem.
That's the main problem, is they're over smoking it locally, partly because of these lessening restrictions. Says worsening the problem was strict COVID-19 measures. They have a 6 p.m. curfew, or they did for a long time. That was really messing with people. Farmers couldn't tend to their fields at night, as is routine. Why couldn't you do that by yourself, though? I mean, couldn't you? Well, why would it be a problem to go out and like work? I don't know. That seems
on
weird.
your own field. I don't know. It seems an odd. Yeah, I mean, they're calling it a COVID-19 measure, 6 p.m. curfew.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just if you're not living at your farm, then you're just not allowed to drive to your farm after 6 p.m. because of COVID? Like,
That might have
we
been
don't
it.
want anybody out and
Yeah.
about.
That might be it.
Yeah.
They're also having trouble getting water because of the drought and everything. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you're going to Jamaica and you're making the trip, just know it's gonna be a little rough going for you on the pot side of things. Having never tried pot, or the closest I ever got was sort of a contact high at a Howard Jones concert.
No, things can only get better.
Guy next to me was smoking pot like a smokestack, and just kept going and going and going, and I did feel a little funny by the end of the night. But
Well, listen, you were at a concert. He was there. You were there. No one is to blame.
Yeah, no one is to blame. No one ever is ever to blame, or just this one time? Is it
Well,
ever?
the song title is "No One Is to Blame," but yeah, the lyric adds the word "ever."
All right, law of threes. You got to do a third one. Give me another one.
Well, Scott, you could try to live your life in one day, but don't go speed your time away.
There you go. Well done.
Thank you.
Law of threes complete.
Law of threes.
We hit Bowser in the head 3 times. And
We can move on to the next castle.
oh, speaking of which, that Mario, the Wii U Super Mario 3D Land, or 3D World, whatever it's called, the Wii U game that was so good and no one played because they didn't have a Wii U, is coming out Friday on the Switch. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. I'm still loving Phoenix Rising, Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Yep.
Here's my only problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Climbing the side of a rock thing, and it's like, oh, okay, I've got enough stamina, I can make it to that flat surface and rebuild my stamina. Climb. Okay, why am I not? Yeah, just jump. Just climb right up onto the thing. Just get up on the top of that platform. Oh no, my stamina's out. Ah!
Yeah,
Dead.
but you can still do your wings. Does the wings take a little stamina too?
The wings take stamina as well. So I pop the wings and I just slowly fall to my death. Still, maybe not terminal velocity, but pretty dang close to terminal velocity.
That game's getting loadouts in a patch today.
Oh, really? I wonder if
Yeah.
the Switch version is.
It is. All of it. Everything's getting it.
All of it is? Okay.
Yeah. Can't find the note on it, but there's some,
What are loadouts?
like, you'll be able to, instead of going in and piecemealing all the stuff you want to look like, or the gear you want to have, you can do it in chunks. Kind of like, think of it as like a transmog, except it's actual functional stuff too, not just visual.
Gotcha. Oh, that's cool. Oh,
Yeah.
there it is right there. It's customizable loadouts. I've never, in all the MMO life that I've had,
You've never transmogged?
No, I've transmogged.
Oh, okay.
I will say, though, I don't really care about transmogging.
Really?
that
It
much.
is one of my favorite things in that game right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can't stand looking like a clown. It's like, these pants don't match this shirt. This weapon
Oh,
looks different
see.
than the other one. I hate all that.
Yeah, in WoW, in this game, whatever, give me the gear. I don't care if they match. I don't care what I look like. It's,
Just go.
I mean, do I look like I care how I dress?
That's funny.
I don't transmog in real life. Why would I do it in a video game?
I guess I mean, well, transmog hasn't been around for 10 years. Drenched Wildfire. It's only been around for like the last. I want to say that was maybe 2015, 2016. Anyway, it is a little bit of dress up, but I don't know if I've come to like it. I think WoW's version of it is really cool, and I like doing sets and switching around and stuff like that.
I guess if I could go back to, but again, I never really look at what I'm wearing in the game. I guess I see the back of my body, and I'm swatting. I always see the back of my body when it's laying on the floor face down.
Yeah. Now,
So really,
would you
I
rather
just
look
should
at
have a good
yourself
cloak.
face down and see yourself in a coordinated, beautiful outfit?
Right. I will say I really did like the Rogue Geist gear set from Wrath of the Lich King.
Oh, yeah,
with
that's a good one.
The single yellow eye that had smoke coming out of it.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
So you can go get that whole set. Either if you don't have it already, you may already have all the parts. And if you have all the parts, you just go make a transmog set, name it whatever.
Geist.
One-eyed
I could name
Bill.
it Willie Geist.
Yeah, just call it Geist. And boom, you're a 40-year-old woman singing. It's perfect. Oh, wait, that's Feist.
Are we getting any other? What else are we getting? Is there any other good things brought out by this?
We don't know yet. There's stuff
Okay.
coming. There's
So
stuff coming.
are you saying I'm putting a link in our chat? So are you saying that set looks like? Oh, is it not? It's not pulling up the graphic. Let me put it
I
in
got
our
it.
Discord.
Shut up for
Oh,
me.
yeah. Okay.
Let's see.
Are you saying that gear set looks like a clown?
I'm saying no. See, I like that gear set. That gear
Oh, you
set's
do?
fine because that's them coordinating. What I'm talking about is like in
gotcha.
World of
So when it's-
Warcraft when you're like wearing a chest piece and pants and totally different colored legs, and then let's say you're a dual weaponer like rogues are, and like my demon hunter, like having a sword in one hand and a freaking ugly scythe or whatever in the other hand. I love to just like coordinate all that stuff, and anything you've ever collected, all those appearances are in your transmog library. So you just go, all right, I want both swords to look like this glowy blue one. Boop. I want this helmet. I want this shoulder pad. I want whatever. And you can color coordinate, even if they're not sets. You can just do whatever you want from all the stuff you've ever had in the game. And there's pages of that stuff. I really like it. If you haven't messed with it, you should check it out.
All right.
Also, Phoenix Rising is a fantastic video game.
It
People.
really is. I'm having so much fun with it.
It's really good.
Yeah. I'm realizing that I jumped too far ahead on one of the quests. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting the crap beat out of me. Let me go do some side quests, get some better gear, and improve before I move any further in the main storyline.
Improve before you move. That's what I say.
Improve, don't move, improve.
Yeah, move, then improve. No, improve,
No,
then
next
move.
on HGTV.
Indeed. That guy and his lady wife. All right. Hey, check it out. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, my sister Wendy will be here. We're gonna talk about all of our homework, which was we were meant to watch Hulu's, although you could rent it in other places if you don't have Hulu, In and of Itself, which Brian and I both watched last night. And I get it why she wanted us to do this, and I'm really excited to see what she wants to talk about around it. Just know that we will talk about stuff in it that I guess you could call spoilers, even though it's basically just a filming of a stage performance.
I don't know though. I mean, I feel like the less you know going into watching it, the better. At least the better, in my opinion,
totally
the better.
agree. Totally agree. So that's what I'm saying. If you guys don't want to hear any of that, probably skip Wendy's thing, save it for later. But man, I was legitimately floored by that thing.
So good, yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna do all that in a second.
She just
Before
wants
that,
to know
though,
how he kept all the kings together.
Yeah.
That's all she's going to be asking us,
that's
right?
all. That's it. How were all those kings not all mixed up in your deck? And then how did all the other
taper
things
deck.
work out?
Taper deck.
Yeah, paper deck. Brian, please play a song. What song do we have to play?
Yes, let's talk about the Middle Kids, shall we?
Sure.
They're releasing a brand new song called Cellophane Brain. Their brand new album is called Today We're the Greatest. It comes out March 19th. This is some great indie rock out of... I like saying where these people are from,
Sure, why not?
but if they don't put it in the first paragraph,
If
then
they don't
I
give
don't
it to
know,
you, yeah,
'cause
then
that's
you
all I
do-
read.
Yeah.
Anyway, these guys are really, really good. It's Hannah Joy on lead vocals, and she's also a singer, the singer-songwriter. She's great. Here you go. Middle Kids from their brand new album called Today We're the Greatest. Here is Cellophane Brain.
Hi, I'm Jesse Ventura. Use Minty Mouth toothpaste. Halliburton staged the BP oil spill.
Bing, 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 bing. Those bastards are turning back. This is the morning stream.
All right, we have a turn. And for those wondering if that's really Jesse Ventura, it's not. It's Will Sasso doing Jesse Ventura on social media.
Will Sasso's great.
He cracks me up. And so
Just saw him in that in that really good, I won't say fantastic, just saw him in that really good Irresistible movie with Steve Carell.
I need to watch that. I wrote that down. That seemed like one I'd like.
I think you would like it. I think I bet a lot of the reviews are coming from the fact that it might be a little more. I mean, Steve Carell's the good guy, and he's a Democrat.
Is it a little pointed in the?
Maybe a little bit, yeah. Maybe.
That's
I don't know.
always
It's
fun.
subtle.
Subtle is never.
And the ending, and you won't see the ending coming. I will say, no matter what, you won't see the ending coming. Hey,
Hey, it's
You're not supposed
Wendy.
to talk about it before I'm here?
No, not that. Different thing. He was talking about a different thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're not talking about this. In fact, I told the chat if any of them have not seen it and they don't
Go
want
away.
to hear, yeah, you should go away just because it's so worth. Like, you know me, I'm sort of like don't care that much about spoilers, and sometimes I let them slip on the show. But even when someone tells me one, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I'm still watching it, whatever.
Yeah,
But
this is not one you want.
This is not
spoiled.
one, man. This is one I want to protect you guys from until you see it, and
Yeah.
then I want you to see it so bad. If you
No.
didn't see it,
That was my first reaction. I thought of thousands of people. I'm like, I need them to see it. I need that person to see it. I need everyone in the world to see it. So
Yeah,
thank
so
you
we're
for
gonna-
obliging me.
yes, so we're going to talk about that after this. It's my sister Wendy, everybody. She comes on Thursdays, does Therapy Thursdays. She is an actual therapist, helps real people all the time with real problems, and does it for free for us on Thursdays, which is fantastic. Now, Wendy said earlier in the week to me, hey, you and Brian and the audience, your homework is this. Watch In and of Itself on Hulu or wherever you can get it.
Right.
And in Canada, you had to rent it, and there's a few other places where it wasn't
Sorry,
streaming.
Canada.
Yeah.
Well, they're
and,
all right.
and maybe, I don't know, give me more than 48 hours notice next time, Wendy, could you?
Yeah,
That's Scott's fault. I just was a
no,
messenger
wait. When did
for-
you tell me? You told me on Wednesday, right? Didn't you tell me Wednesday? I think that's what
You told me Tuesday, so it had to be at least Tuesday.
Oh, well, that sounds right. I think Wendy told me Wendy told me the day I told you, so that's not my fault.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point
48
is,
hours.
There's no way that's true. I'm looking it up. Keep talking.
This is, oh my God, you two are cut from the same cord. Hold on, let me look
really
this up.
are. We really are. There's no question. You think all those little random fart sounds?
I
she
told
makes
you
are-
Saturday.
Oh, you did really?
Saturday.
Really?
I could have watched it over the weekend and not given up trivia last night, Scott.
Oh, look at that.
I said, okay, I lied. It was Monday.
Okay, Monday. See, that's not so bad. It also sounds like me, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind
Yeah.
of does. Okay,
All
fair
right.
enough.
Everything
That's all
about
right.
this was Johnson as hell.
I didn't need to do trivia last night anyway. It's
All
totally
right,
fine.
good deal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's totally fine.
So here's the deal. You said watch it, and I was like, oh, I meant to anyway. Someone said it was good, and I didn't know much about it. The best I could tell from looking at previews was, oh, it's some kind of stage thing, and I noticed
Magic show,
Frank Oz
whatever.
directed it, which I didn't. That threw me off a little bit. Like Frank Oz directing, that's weird.
And Stephen Colbert
Oh yeah,
And-
produced by Stephen Colbert
yeah.
and his wife.
and his wife.
Yeah, you saw that in the credits. But anyway, I didn't really know what to expect. And then when I settled in, I went, "Oh, it's one of these. Okay, I like these. These are interesting." It reminds me of Schwood's thing a little bit. It's a magic show with some twists and some other stuff. But man, it's not that. It is that, but it's so much more than that. And in fact, the magic that he uses. All of the acts, or all of the parts of the performance that are based on tricks, either with the cards or knowing whose name is tied to whatever at the end, or the thing with the all that stuff. The letter, oh my gosh, the letter.
The letter was amazing.
All of it they're tricks, and they're tricks you've seen before, or things like it where you're like, oh wow, and then the magician moves on to his next trick. They're used in this thing as a conduit to. I don't even know what to call this, Wendy.
They're the sugar that helps the medicine go down, maybe.
Something. Like the
the
gold brick
avenue
thing. I don't even know where to
to-
start. Like, where do you want to start
Yeah,
with
I know.
this? Because I don't even know where to start.
Okay. Well, let's start with what he did. I mean, so again, if you haven't seen it, go see it. Stop listening because we're ruining it right now.
Yeah, we should assume people have seen it from here. If they're listening, they've seen it. So we should talk about it as if we have all seen it. We don't have to explain to them what it was. We can now just discuss it as a group, even though the audience is silent, but as if they've seen it. So that's how we should do this,
Good.
I think.
Okay. So let's start with the. So in essence, he used his own life as the sort of source of all of his material, right? The things
Right.
he's been through, his childhood. I mean, it was his therapy, really, right? Like I watched it and I didn't think about it till afterwards, but this is somebody's processing through developmentally crucial moments of their life. And, you know, like even the wolf and the dog philosophy and the light, you know, if you're blinded by the light, you can't see anything, but if you turn your back on the light, everything's clear. Like so much it's from his own inner world. Right. So that's, I think, what made it so authentic. I mean, that was 500 showings or something. It was over 2 years or something.
Yeah.
But to pull off that level, that depth and that like emotional connection to what he was doing, I don't think you can do that if it isn't your real stuff, or he's just one heck of an actor. I don't know. Yeah. But it just was so moving, right? As he's going through all of his various things that are him. So let's start with this. When at the beginning, right, with the, oh my gosh, now the word is the whatever nader.
The roulettista.
The roulettista.
Yeah, roulettista.
Roulettista.
That's it, the roulettista. So that idea, like, it was so compelling that he is in this bar in Chile or something, and this guy just tells him who he is, right? And he's some young kid who, you know, 20-something, thinking he's all that, and has spent a lifetime. I don't know if you've read much about him, but he really was like a phenom card shark, 13, 15, 16-year-old. Like,
I believe it by the way he was handling the
shuffling.
And shuffling.
Yeah. So he really was all the things he's saying, right? Anyway, so here he is, probably hot shot, you know, thinking he knows everything. And this guy comes and tells him this story. And so it starts really quickly with this idea of his identity, right? So here's your identity. You're the roulettista. And you're like, what? And that story is nuts about this guy putting bullets in a gun and trying to, you know, not killing himself every single time and making all this money is just like, it's so gripping way to start it. But it's identity. Very first and foremost is identity. And then as we go along, his identity in relationship to his mom's sexual identity and the community's response to her being a lesbian and what that means for him and not, you know, his identity. It was just so moving, right? So those two, and then we keep going. I don't want to talk the whole time. So what do you guys think so far of my premise?
Let me talk to you about that brick for a second. The way he acknowledged or stressed the point that the brick is just a brick, and it was only ever a brick. Like, it's still just a brick. It's painted gold, but that's all. That's all. It's just a gold brick. And even though his association with the brick is massive, right? Like it's this massive trauma. It's this point of violent a confrontation with a community that does not accept your mother for whatever reason, and therefore you, right? It's that horrible. It's a horrible object for him, and for now for that audience, as he pointed out, he's ruined the brick for everybody. Like, the brick is now not just a brick. All they'll be able to think of when they see that brick is this thing and associated with that. But then he ends that whole sequence with other than a really amazing piece of magic. He ends it with basically saying it is just a brick. Like, it is just a brick. It's the other stuff. It's the things behind the brick and everything else we have to worry about. But the bricks become the symbol. And immediately in my head, when I'm sitting there on the couch watching this with Kim, by the way, we watched this. We did the whole thing with like no distractions, put our phones away, turn everything off.
Phones off, iPads off. Yep.
Good job, everybody.
And
first time ever.
Yeah, first time ever.
It really is. Yeah. No argument.
First time in a long time for me. But anyway, so that immediately my brain went, oh, this is like the associations I have with the breathing apparatus that my dad was on after his heart attack when I saw him in the hospital for the first time. Because I walked in there and I was shocked to see this thing in his nose. And I've never been able to get rid of it. And that is just a thing for your nose. And that's all it is. But in my mind, I have this whole construct around it of shock and trauma and whatever. I have other things like I can't see people in a headband, like a tight headband, without immediately thinking about Carter strapped to that board after that accident when she was 7 that almost broke her neck and almost killed her. And walking into the hospital and seeing her strapped to that board because they didn't want to move her, and seeing her neck all bulged out to one side. a little 7-year-old kid like that. Like that is a permanent thing. And what I realized while watching this was he has figured out a way through 500 episodes of this on stage or whatever he's been able to do of taking this symbol, this object, and figuring all the stuff up, all the stuff around it, figuring it all out, and basically banishing that rock or banishing that brick.
And taking away its power, basically.
Yeah, which is, and giving it a whole new power, which is, oh my gosh, it really is at the corner of 5th and whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
and that was the only magic trick I know how he did.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the only one.
I'm not a magic person. Like, I don't pay attention.
Wait.
I'm always
I take it back.
"Yeah."
I don't know how
you know how the brick ended up on those corners? Yeah, that one, that seems...
That can't be hard.
That
If
can't be
somebody
hard.
hears
But
the
making it
address and they go put the
disappear,
brick
Right,
there.
exactly.
but making it disappear.
That's the only one I got.
How did they do
But
that?
the brick
part?
disappearing off the table.
Oh, no, I don't get that one.
Yeah, like
That's
that
the
was
only one that I couldn't wrap my head around.
I
Oh,
couldn't
yeah,
wrap
yours
my
is
head
the
around
wrong one.
any
You're
of
good.
them. All of them freaked me out, and the stuff toward the end, I've been racking my brain all night. I'm like, wait a minute, okay, so he knew. The way he picked somebody out of the audience and came up and said, here, read this, pick a letter, any one you want, and then open it and let's see. I don't know how that was done.
I have a theory on that one. We can talk
So,
off.
and here's the thing. I think at the bottom, like the core of this guy's a genius. Right?
He is. Yeah.
You don't, that whole saying everybody's identity at the end is sheer brain power. I mean, there's a way to do
That's
it, but that is
yep.
a lot of bodies to remember.
That's not a magic trick. I think that is a
That is
talent.
a genius. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And okay, we'll get back to that in a second. Okay, so the brick. So go back to my identity concept here too. Like so much of the violence or bigotry or otherness or damage that's done can be so wrapped up in your identity. And here he says, this brick is just a brick, right? And like he's able to not have it. I mean, all of that's so powerful, right? But again, we go from, okay, was that the first one? Was the brick the first one, right? After the Rulatista?
Hold on.
No,
Rulatista,
the
it was cards and stuff first, right?
The card stuff, the kings and the aces and
that was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I have theories on that one too.
You have theories on that too?
So crazy.
I thought I did too until he was like 3/4 done with that, and I went, my theory's wrong. I don't know how he just did that, because for a while there I was like, oh, that deck's just full of kings or aces or whatever.
No,
I don't know.
It's a card counter.
The first thing was getting the toy or the folded up origami boat into the bottle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
right.
is
Right.
little sleight of hand stuff.
Right.
That was cute. All right, good. Was that, maybe my identity thing that falls apart on that one because I can't remember the boat being.
But the
Other than
thing,
it's cool.
the thing I liked about this, that people even who go live don't get this experience. I'm sure that live experience is really something special. But what I really liked about it was the animated interstitials were really cool. The wolf and the dog bit with the poker guy and meeting the devil and all that. I loved that. That was so cool. Just from an artistic standpoint, but also their ability to say, only one in that one episode, just the one lady came up for the letter, but because they filmed so many of these, they could do this rapid fire thing. And they did that a lot with different sequences, including when he would hold his finger to his head and all that other stuff. I really liked that because it showed it shows also, like there's repetition to this, but it also just broadened all that stuff out and got to see all this different human emotion. But when he's going through that audience, what you didn't tell me, Wendy, I thought I was just going to be blown away by a lot of this stuff, and I was up to that point. But you didn't tell me that this thing was going to wreck me, because both Kim and I are on the couch sobbing like children.
Yeah.
Now, raise your hand if you were sobbing at the end. Everyone.
Oh my gosh.
You might be a cold-hearted. No, really. Okay, because this gets back to this idea, right? So he is so, first of all, to be in that zone and that authentically vulnerable and yet be performing, that is something else, right? But I do have a client who's saw it twice live and hasn't seen the movie version. And it's just astounding. Now, the intimacy probably, right, of just the one and being in the room, of course, that we can't ever all go in a room anymore. So it's even more incredible. But that idea that, like, it's those people are you're hearing each other's identity, or it was fascinating, because what he did again throughout the thing, he's revealing enough of himself and his conflicts, as well as his resolutions, as well as sort of teaching us as we go about but it's his story. It's amazing, right? And then when he gets to that part, it's like we're all buttered up to like be so open to really seeing somebody, right? At least that's my sense of like, comedians are a great example of the opposite of this, where they reveal bits of them and we're laughing. But if we just peel back 2 inches, there's like a sobbing child in there. Right.
Right.
So the performative element is like, I'm going to reveal me, but it's the funny version that I can tolerate you seeing.
Yeah.
And what he did was like, take all that away, and we got to see him. So we're primed already to sort of see the humanity in somebody, because he just did it for us. He showed us in its complexity. It's not I'm good, bad, this or that. Right.
You know where
and so then when he goes through the audience and does that, like, the only time I laughed, besides the parts I think they wanted to be funny, because there were funny parts, right? Like he said a couple funny things, was when this is so bad and says everything about me. Anyway, the woman who had on like hippie clothing and like this, lots of beads, and her hair was up in a scarf or whatever, and he got to her and he said, "A mystic."
Yeah.
And then I laughed really loud, because I was like, that doesn't take magic.
I said to Tina the same thing. I said, gimme.
Yeah, that was a gimme. But like where it got me, okay, so suddenly Bill Gates being there was weird. I didn't
that was annoying. I wish we could take that out.
I actually don't think it was annoying at all. I think what that says is here's why I liked that. And maybe I'm just looking at it wrong, so I'm willing to hear an argument against it. But the reason I was happy to see that wasn't just, ooh, Bill Gates. It was Bill Gates sees himself as a leader, because that's the one he had chosen. But Bill Gates came to this thing because people told him it was mind-altering and boggling, and a billionaire doesn't. My image of billionaires is they don't spend a lot of time doing anything that takes them out of whatever zone they live in, whatever bubble they live in. And I thought that was a shot of Bill Gates out of his bubble. That's Bill Gates going to a thing that's small and in this little theater, and he's going to be surrounded by just regular people, and he wants to experience this thing up front. That something about that appealed to me. But what really
happy to hear that, because I was like, nah. This is every person. These are normal people. I know other famous people were there. I mean, Susan Sarandon's in the audience on one of them, and another couple other famous people.
Yeah, I thought I saw Tim Gunn and Torpike 1 confirmed it. The guy, the Good Samaritan who, puts his hand up to his face and starts sobbing, I was pretty sure was Tim Gunn.
Yeah, that's Tim Gunn.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that idea of like, what it is I don't want to be taken out, and it took it out just a little, and I was like, come on, Bill Gates, leader. I am.
But in some ways,
a billionaire for his
there you are
identity,
judging him. But I mean, in some
you
ways,
wanted something deeper, like
I wanted to say lonely or something. I don't know.
Right.
In some ways, he does. He may see himself as a leader, and you could argue whether he's a great leader or whatever kind of leader. But in some ways, he is. Like, you could interpret what he does as that. But also, the whole point is, people are pulling stuff off the board and being what they think they're going to be. What really wrecked me, though, that sent me to the floor, was the nobody guy.
I know which one you're going to say. Yeah.
I know.
And the reason that got me is because it wasn't that I wasn't upset. If anything, it was like, for the first time, that guy is letting his vulnerability truly be out. Like, I don't know what it was about looking at him, but I just had this feeling that no one knows something. He feels this way. And now, for the first time, he's actually saying it. He's saying it, and he's doing it in this setting. And there's no judgment. Nobody's judging him for it. There was like it felt like Derek's acknowledgement of what his word was genuine and caring and understanding and kind of a quiet, I don't know how to explain it. Like, that was so surprising to me.
Very compassionate and empathetic. And part of that is because he legitimately just bore his soul to that whole room and then asked them and, had permission from them to say who they think they are. And I think that was the greatest power of it, is that it wasn't telling anybody what if we go back to this idea of identity and it being handed to you or forced on you, or socially, I have to say these things or be these things, but like people got to choose, and he acknowledged that, and nobody was forced to do anything. There was no forcing of that identity. And that's when that guy came up, I didn't say anything about anyone. I laughed at the mystic and I was annoyed by Bill Gates. But other than that, I was so gripped and so just looking at their faces and listening, and like his eye contact with them was amazing. And then when that guy stood up, or it was his turn, I said, "Oh, he's a gamer." And then he said he was nobody. I was like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah.
He has like a game t-shirt on. No.
Yeah. And he sat there staring at him so long, and you saw that guy's sort of countenance just start to fall apart, and he knew what was coming, because up to that point he'd been 100% accurate about everybody before him. And so while everyone's still in amazement about the trick, you're now in it, like, this is okay, well, this is what's going to happen, and we're going to go through every one of you standing people today. And when it gets to him, you saw that guy's face go from kind of stoic and hard to, I know what you're going to say, and you should just say it. Yeah. It's really something, man. And it made me realize, like, clearly we use clothing, at least I do, with the mystic and the guy I thought was a gamer. Just, we judge the outside and we think we know, and then we place our ideas on them, right? I mean, I think that's what was so disarming about all of this, is that, it just sort of washed all that away. It was amazing. And then I had this thought afterwards. I feel like America needs this. Like, can we do this? Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There was just a real obvious, this is everybody. Like, we have villainized somebody on the opposite side of us because it's helpful. It's helpful to have them be one-sided and stupid and whatever. But like, I don't know what that was about for me, but I really felt it. And
I did too.
I've felt a shift ever since. It's not like I was before, like, I'm going to go beat me up a Trump supporter or something. But it's more like, oh, we're all nobody. And we're all the mystic. And we're and we get to choose. And sometimes we're forced into identities or positions because somebody else is choosing that. And that to me came out so strongly. Like, when they get to choose, who do they see themselves as? And then, it was amazing.
Well, the minute I saw them doing it at the beginning, I just thought, where is that going to go? Like, because also it's a limited, there's so much subtext here, because it's a limited quantity of these choices. And if others got there quicker, or were lucky enough to grab theirs first, like, that's just life.
Yeah, but you don't see yourself as just one thing, right?
Well,
So,
of course
like,
not.
Podcaster might have been taken, but artist or humorist or, something else, which is kind of the fun of it, is that, you see somebody taking the thing you think you want. It's like, oh no, but I'm also this, and I'm also this. And
right, but it's a perfect allegory for how life can feel for people. This idea that because somebody got there early, they got first pick, or
had all the advantages.
Whatever advantages. Yeah, exactly. Like,
that woman definitely got up there and said, "Oh, look, Mystic isn't taken."
Yeah. She was pretty stoked. But that was the other thing that I came away with. There's another allegory or subtext in that. It's like, okay, Mystic wasn't taken. The guy that or the lady that took Masochist, the guy that took
the woman who was an extrovert.
Yeah.
With her little finger guns.
Yeah, or the one that did the guy that took Adonis. Like, dude, how much do you think of yourself if you picked Adonis? And what it said to me was, yeah, that's people. Yeah. Like, some people see themselves in this way. Others see themselves in a much more humble way. This guy over here feels like he's nobody these days. Like, and it was okay to have them all in one place and all be exposed. And I felt more optimistic about the guy named Nobody than I did about the dude named Adonis. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I to him, I went, well, your life's just fine right now, but when things get rough, what are you going to do? How are you going to deal with it? Like, just all these weird feelings and emotions came out of this thing that I didn't expect, man. It was just something.
You just thought I was like, hey, go watch a TV show. It's fun.
No, I knew you were on. I mean, you never do this unless you mean it, but I guess I was expecting. This is one of those few things in life where you can get hyped on something and then still have your expectations blown away. That's one.
Hey,
of
really
these.
quick. I thought he said orthodontist.
Who did, me?
Oh, instead of the Adonis?
Yeah.
Oh,
So for a second here, I'm
The
like,
Adonis
Adonis.
guy, yeah.
I don't remember that. There was that orthodontist.
yeah. He was definitely. He said Adonis and then grinned and sat down, and he was a handsome, good-looking dude, but.
Yeah, he definitely looked like more of an Adonis than an orthodontist. I'll say that.
I mean, I don't know. I've had some pretty hot orthodontists.
And keep in mind, there were people that didn't get up at all. They were sitting and didn't stand up because they just grabbed one because who knows? It's just a lark.
They did it
or
kind of
whatever.
joking. Choose Ninja as his example.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is funny because there's two things going on. Suddenly, when they all realize what's happening, those who didn't stand, some of them are probably going, oh, I should have stood. I need to know if this is me. Like there's this feeling of like, oh, I should just see what this means.
And being a part of it too,
right.
Yeah.
And then the others who did stand, there's some of those people I'm sure that were like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have stood. Like there's all that complicated stuff going on. Meanwhile, there's just this feeling that your host, your protagonist, your guy in the suit walking around telling these stories is completely genuine about all of you, but also there's some kind of clock ticking for him. And it has to do with this roulette business.
Yeah.
It's so good, you guys. It's so good.
The
It's one of those
subtlety of the 6 chambers on the back wall. And
right.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. I don't know how they did that. I assume that all that stuff that fell off the wall that used to be 3D space, I assume that was, while nobody was looking, somebody was swapping those out or something.
Yeah. That's why he stood at the back of the stage for such a long time. I think my guess is to keep people's focus on the back, and
well, it worked.
It totally worked. Yeah,
yeah, that was awesome.
It totally worked, and there was also something really powerful about that: the glass and the blue light and the brick sticking through the middle of it, and the sound it would make as you get close to it. And
my cat did not like that sound at all. She glared at the TV and almost got up off my lap.
It's just a hell of a
Like,
thing.
what is this?
What
you know
garbage are you watching now?
What else is, or the other thing I came away from this is a purely pragmatic thing, but it's a reminder that there's a lot of really great artistic, thoughtful things happening that aren't on some sort of national stage, and you don't know about them until somebody, says, "Oh, we got to make this into a thing," and then and bring it to a broader audience. Never heard of this guy. Never heard of this show.
Right.
Would have probably never heard of this ever had it not come to light. So I'm really glad that somebody said, hey, this ought to be bigger than it is. And I'm sure that dude's about to experience a whole new level of,
fame.
Everybody's going to want him.
You saw the Nanette.
Oh, that was so good.
That was good. That's the closest comparison I got, because you think, all right, it's going to be a stand-up comedy show. And it's like, oh, no, it's a...
It'll knock your socks. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of stand-up comedy thrown in there, but it's not just a stage performance, not just
she the New Zealand or Australian comedian lady?
Yep.
Is that the one I'm thinking about? Yeah, I really like that a lot too. That was awesome.
Oh, good. And she did something similar, which is like, it's legitimately her. She pulled back the curtain of like, here, and part of it is her autism, that's her style, right? Is to go, here's what's real, because that's all I can talk about is what's real, or whatever, and which makes it so phenomenal, because that's a typical comedian is really hiding a lot of deep dark parts of them, and this is the way to let those out. It's kind of like the jester in the king's court can say the truth, but it has to be while dancing and laughing with bells on its head. And that's what was so remarkable about this, is that he has done his work and he has figured out himself, and then he somehow figured out how to transform that onto a stage where he disarmed everyone. So the whole thing is about this gun, but really he disarmed everyone. Like it was so well done.
Something
and
else.
I think I contrast this with like an Instagram influencer that, have you ever seen them in the wild? I have. It is horrifying. Because what you see, so I was in New York, I was in the New York City Library. I was there with a friend from Sweden who worships library. It's her sanctuary. It was like amazing for her to be there. She'd never been. And it was just like this moment. It was beautiful. And then this freaking Instagram person walks in and is like, it's like a whole film crew followed her, and she's just flipping through books and flipping her hair. And it was like having something sacred pooped on. I was ready to lose it. And I thought, okay, if I look at the pictures, I will see what looks some crafted, nothing's real. Because then I saw her lose her ever living mind at somebody because they were in her way. And you're like, okay, here's the perfect example of the opposite. And I think as a performer or someone who's famous or any, you know, there are public personas you have to maintain. And then what do you do with all your dark bits? You know, and this guy just said, hey guys, here's all my dark bits. Yeah. And I've worked through him, and he was so emotional. I mean, his face, like the sadness behind his eyes sometimes was also like, wow.
Yeah.
He's just showing us this. It was amazing.
And also I'm pretty sure his emotion toward the end is pretty real. I know actors can produce tears and, look upset, and I know that's a thing, but I don't know.
But if he could act like that on a regular basis, he would have been in a movie before now, I would think. I just think, I mean, why are we all crying at the end? It was legitimate connection. He was legitimately seeing them because, again, we now know enough about his life to know him being really seen has been elusive. Right. And he has people coming in telling him if he's okay or not, and what he is and who he is. And I mean, his whole life has been creating illusions and cards, and right. So genius.
Yeah, it was something else. And I just felt like, as I was watching, I'm like, well, of course Wendy wants us to watch this, because this is all the stuff she's always talking about. This is like, this is a very artistic and concise presentation of the concept of dealing with your own stuff and then being there for those who need to also deal. And that is like that is what this is. Like, if anything, I realize it's an artistic expression for him. He's worked really hard on this. Like, it brings it. This is how he pays his bills. Like, it's an enterprise across the board for his life, but you can tell so much of him is in this that it's not just simply, I made a cool play. Like, this isn't Hamilton, which is an amazing, incredible work that took all this, all this amazing stuff to get together. There's something else here, something just a little bit deeper. And the fact that everybody in that audience essentially gets to be a massive participant without knowing they're going to. And then all I could think about was the book guy, because when he comes back the next day, he doesn't even know about all that stuff at the end yet.
I know. That was so cool.
Mr. Tomorrow,
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, when he said the book
becomes Mr. Yesterday,
the book goes out every day, every performance, and then comes back, and he's never had it not come back and not be fulfilled. What that tells me is they all feel an acute responsibility because of how that's all presented. There's nothing flippant or trivial about this. That book is a sacred tome. Like, it really is.
Yeah.
Because it's these people interpreting themselves and others, and like, what a rad thing that thing's going to be one day.
No kidding. I'd love it if that turned into a book you could buy and kind of read through all the different interpretations and predictions.
Which was another example of him asking someone to be themselves, right? Like, blank slate. What do you think it's going to happen? Or your own perception, or, whatever. And then, of course, they showed some of it. People paint it, people draw it, people write it out in prose.
Draw like middle fingers and put sticky notes, post-it notes all over it. And
he tapped into, like, to me, that is like a child journal in the sort of youngness of it that it came across, or like a moody teenager, like, here's my journal, here's what I think. There was some feeling about it like that for me. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's the artwork or something. But then also it was just, you are this important. You as an individual are this important. You're going to add to this Bible. This thing is huge, by the way. And you matter. I'm sure everyone went home and read what other people wrote, right? So not only are you individually important, you're part of 500 other people who did this exact same thing. And then I wonder what it's like for them to come back specifically, like just the Tomorrow Peoples, like what it's like to see the ending.
The rest of it, yeah.
And have another day of it. Like you get to do that twice. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you pick the same car? Do you get there earlier so that you can get Mystic before that tapestry lady?
There's always a Mystic in the audience.
There's always a Mystic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. The book, by the way, taking us out of this for just half a second, was the only bit of continuity issue I had, because apparently one person brought it back with a bedazzled book cover on it. And there are times that he's walking around with it and it's the regular book. They cut to an audience member and they cut back and he's holding the bedazzled version. They cut back to the audience and he's holding the leather bound.
Oh, see, that none of that bugged me because I knew they were swapping around all the time anyway, right?
Well, I did too, but yeah, I mean, it didn't bug me as much as like, oh yeah, okay, so that quick cut was actually 2 different nights that it was filmed on, but
sure. Yeah,
really I saw the bedazzled just once. I noticed, and I went, "Oh, who did that?"
Yeah, the Mystic.
Who bedazzled.
The Mystic did it.
Yes, exactly.
The Mystic did it, but she did it while she was in the audience. She did Mystic work.
Yeah,
that's what Mystics do. They're mysteries.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Well, anyway, I think this is mandatory viewing. Just about for everybody.
Really
you know, if you're, I even think this would be really great to sit down with your 10-year-old and watch. Just know there's a couple of swears in it. It's not horrible, but just know that. And like, I cannot wait for my kids to watch this. I cannot wait for Taylor and Dylan to tell me what they thought. I can't wait for Carter to sit down. I'll watch this again with her. She's going to be a mess, though. Oh, my gosh, dude.
Yeah, make sure they got tissues.
Yeah.
Which, okay, so let's just speak to that for a second. So why are we all crying at the end?
I don't know. Like,
because we could just as easily be nobody in that
I think that's
in
true.
that audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it for sure. I mean, it's just the way I feel like it was catharsis for me was a little like, I never forget this. So 2 years after 9/11, I was just randomly, so that'd have been 2002 or 3, whatever, 3. Was just downstairs, or maybe it was the year anniversary, but I remember feeling like, I never really dealt with that very well. It just sort of happened and upended everything, and everyone doesn't quite know what to do or say, and comedy feels like it's dead, and we don't know what to do with it. I never really dealt with it. And then one night on the anniversary, it was either 1 or the 2 year anniversary, they're just doing a montage of all the police officers and firefighters that went rushing in there and didn't come out. The phone calls from people up in the towers right before they were destroyed and before they collapsed, things like that. Like all this stuff, kind of documented history of the moment, and I lost it. Just completely lost it. Bawled my eyes out for 2 hours. By myself, by the way. Kim was off somewhere with something and the kids were with her and I was alone, and it just destroyed me that night. And to this day, I'm not exactly sure what was going on there, except it felt like I just hadn't dealt with it. You know what I mean? Like I hadn't let this big macro event, I hadn't dealt with it personally yet. Even though everybody was affected personally, I wasn't dealing with my own personal stuff, and I felt like that was the night where I got to do that. Yesterday felt a little bit like finally dealing with what I perceive as what I perceive as the fallout from a bunch of years of really severe division in our society and a year of pandemic in the midst of all that division. And I think that this opened that wound up and forced me to like go, we're all these things. And sometimes those things separate us and piss each other off, but sometimes not. And when there's honesty, there's catharsis, and there's letting go, and there's a feeling of, I don't know, like all of this stuff just come rushing at us yesterday. Kim said the same thing. She's just like, I needed that. So I don't even think the dude knew. Like, this was all pre-COVID, this film thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the dude didn't know that this was going to come at a time where this was all going to, that it would have this level of impact because of the kind of life we're living right now. That's what I think is the reason it hit me so hard. I can't speak for anyone else, but that's what I came away with. It was a hell of a thing, man.
So too. Mm-hmm. It is. I think so too. And I think for me, it's done this very interesting, like, I don't know. I mean, I spend every day talking to people trying to see who they really are.
Yeah.
And I get the privilege of that a lot. But like on a bigger scale, it's hard to do, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know. It did that. It just like opened up, like everybody is nobody and everybody is scared and everybody is happy about this or that. Like, nobody is different from each other. We are all on this together. And how, I don't know. It was just relieving somehow.
Yeah.
So I really, really
And
appreciated
he
it.
did a thing that reminded me of a good parent. Like when the lady's up there reading that letter, which inexplicably, you're already blown away that this is a personal letter from somebody and you don't know how the trick worked and all that.
Yeah.
And everyone's witnessing that shock, and then they have to read it silently. And she was so upset and crying and everything. And then when he came up to her, because he hasn't had to do this with everybody.
Yeah.
Some people is like, just stand up and read it. And they do. Other people, like her, she's just almost inconsolable. So he leans over in this really kind way and just says, are you going to be okay? Or I can read this if you'd prefer. Or, like he's just being really caretakey in a way that doesn't feel fake or for the show. It feels like, he means this. Like there's video of him in 1989 turning around and waving at his mom at some event at school where he's 6 or 7 years old. That's the kid. Like that's him. Yeah. He's even then he's just like this little quiet kind of, I'm not sure what I'm doing here wave. And
totally.
And through this whole thing, you see that adult version of that kid. Oh man, I don't know.
Just that really version of I'm not sure what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
And really I can't believe I'm telling you all this stuff about me. And it's amazing.
Yeah,
it really
it is.
Really
and it may sound like some people did stick around and they haven't seen it yet and they're hearing us now. For those, I would say you've heard a lot of abstract stuff because you don't have the context of seeing it. Still see it. Even then you'll be blown away. And it isn't about the tricks. It's about where the tricks take you.
Yeah. Each time someone says, I'm like, oh, you got to go see this. And then they're like, oh, is it the magician? I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. He's a magician.
Yeah.
That feels irrelevant. I don't know why, but it does.
Yeah. It really does.
It's the methodology to get to what you get out of it. Obviously, that's part of the awe and amazement and stuff that does shift your mind into a different brain state. So it's crucial.
And there's also a higher level of not distraction, but you're focused on what he's saying, and you sometimes don't even pay attention to what he's doing before you see the trick that goes along with what he's been talking about. So it's almost like misdirection, verbal misdirection.
At the highest level.
That makes the thing, what he's saying even more powerful.
Yeah, at the freaking master level. Like I've never seen anything quite like it.
I think maybe recognizing like these are New Yorkers. Like this is his audience. His audience are New Yorkers who can stop and watch lots of things happen and feel nothing. Or they are like they see a lot of amazing art, and a magician show is not going to be, that exciting maybe. And so this level, I mean, that to do it at that level and to get all these New Yorkers to gasp and cover their mouths and bawl in public is like, wow.
Yeah. It's the most water cooler worthy discussion thing I've seen in years. And it's really going to be hard for me to forget. Also, I hope I don't know what this category falls into, but when the Emmys roll around, this thing needs to get its due. It needs to be recognized.
And there's something about Colbert being the one who produced it that you're like, well, of course he did.
It does. It feels like something he would have seen and gone, oh,
yes.
we have to.
Yeah, I need to make sure this is seen by a bigger audience.
And it is something, not that he would do the magician, but it's something he does with comedy, right? There is the most sincere, real him that shows up every now and again that it is also disarming, So he can do a laugh and a joke and then it's like this legitimately him, open and sincere. So I feel like it's his brand, just not magic, but comedy.
Yep. Yeah. So go watch it. and don't not watch it. Okay, even if you got to pay a
Watch
couple of
it.
bucks.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah,
Our homework next week, Look Who's Talking To.
That's right.
Yes, make sure you all watch Look Who's Talking To.
Great. I was really hoping for Baby Geniuses, but it's fine if
Baby's Day Out.
Oh, okay,
make
that's
sure
even
you all
better.
watch
We will discuss.
one of the dog movies where he plays basketball. Let's get that up there.
Airbuds. Airbuds 2.
There you go. It has a way. It really does have a way of making other things seem trivial and dumb. Like
Yeah, all the things, like all your dumb fights and all your stupid problems.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's
it.
really, really something. So take our advice and do that. Wendy, anything else you want to mention this week? Real steps, anything that's going on? Not that this, those are still important, so we should talk about those.
They are. Real Steps is going on, and it's great. We have such a good group. I just want everyone to do it with us. So that'll be the next time. Won't be till May, so you'll have time to think about it. It's going good. We are. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I can't think about anything but in and of itself. So
right,
it's
true.
But watch
check
that
it out.
and then join Real Steps in May.
Oh yeah, I think we only mentioned the name once, maybe twice, but the thing on Hulu was called In and of Itself.
In
So
and of itself.
yeah.
And what's amazing, I can't remember the dude's last name. I have to Google it every time. I know his name's Derek. That's all I can remember. And
Derek
it's because
Delgadio. Yeah.
it's because it doesn't. That's not what matters. But I have had to Google it 6 times to tell someone about it. It's weird. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. And by the way, he was a consultant on that Vegas show that didn't last very long in 2013. So he's got all these jobs where he would come on in and say, "Oh, he's the Prestige." He had a special thanks on the Prestige, Brian, which you just watched, because he was there giving advice about some of the magic and stuff. We've known this guy, we just didn't know this guy. So anyway.
Yeah, I had to look. I want to look back and see if he's ever been on Penn and Teller Fool Us, because that's my only real magic thing that I see these days. Right? It's like I don't watch any other magic shows or specials or things like that, but I do watch Penn and Teller Fool Us.
Well, now you'll know that this. Whenever you see the image of this poster, you'll know it has nothing to do with the New York crossword puzzle thing you do every
right, because that's what I thought it was. Yeah,
that big grid of who am I or I am things that were thrown at us for a while, but now we get it.
I am 6 across.
Yep.
I am 11 down.
All right, well done, Wendy. Fantastic talking to you as always. realsteps.org, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Thus endeth our eternal review of In and of Itself. It really is great, you guys. We're not just saying that, okay?
Yep.
You got to see it to believe it. Okay. That's going to do it for the show, I think. We do have... All right, so long story short, not getting into details here. A little while ago, Kim had a procedure. It didn't stick. So the only solution now is a surgery. And she doesn't like me talking about it because it's a lady thing. And, I don't want to...
Sure.
It's one of those things. As a result, she has to have surgery on Friday. And as a result of that, I don't know when that's happening. Today, they're supposed to call us and say when we go in. And it'll either be... I don't know. Actually, I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to bump the instance but it'll probably affect PM if I'm guessing, given the timing. So I guess what I'll say is this. If it doesn't happen that way, or they change it, or it gets delayed, or whatever, or it doesn't affect that time frame, we'll still do a TMS PM tomorrow. If not, I'll let you guys know with as much advance notice as I can that there isn't going to be one. But right now, I'm just playing it by ear. So...
Yeah, and I mean, family, this needs to come first, and anyone who doesn't understand this is a cold, heartless bastard. So
yeah, and a poo-poo head, really.
A poo-poo head, but thank you for your patronage.
Yeah. Yes, very much so. So we'll let you know. It also affects the instance if potentially, but it's supposed to be a same-day thing, so there for a few hours and then home. But she'll be put out for it, like it's full-on, put her under kind of surgery thing.
Only do a TMS PM tomorrow if she's unconscious, because otherwise you should be taking care of her. But that's my
good point. The only way we do PM is if we haven't gone in yet. If they say, "Oh, we can't take you in here until 5 p.m. tonight," then we'll still do it. If not, then it'll probably get hosed. So
sounds good. Yep.
So that's the plan. And she's okay. It's not major. But anytime they put you under, you have to, you just got to be Got to be ready for whatever. So that's all that. Reminder today, 1:30 or 1 p.m. Mountain. Brian will be doing Coverville live at Coverville or twitch.tv/Coverville. So check that out. And if we do the instance, it'll be tomorrow at 12:30, which will be interesting because that'll be kind of a lead up to BlizzCon Online, which we'll be doing, BlizzCon Line. Keep screwing that up. Next week. And you can expect some other coverage around that event from me in some other ways. So probably spend some time with people like Kyle Ferguson, Garrett Weinzierl, John, some other Blizzard types who want to cover some of that event. Plus a little thing I can't tell you about yet. So anyway, that's all next week. Watch for that. And if we're not here tomorrow, we'll be back Monday. I think that's it. Oh, Film Sack this weekend as well. Should be
Film Sack this weekend. Guess the Connection. Cover will Guess the Connection tomorrow at 2:30. So 6 cover songs. They all have something in common. Figure it out and win a prize. I think I'm giving away a Fantastic Four t-shirt.
Ooh. Has it had your previous body in it? Your body?
Nope. Just came in yesterday. I decided, you know what? Let's give this one away. It is a Yancey Street Bar and Grill Ever Lovin' Thing t-shirt. So
I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
So
I want to win it.
Has not been on my body.
Your body. Okay. Well,
anyway,
excellent.
so-
So watch for that.
Yep.
If you are a supporter of the show, thank you. If you're not, go check it out. Patreon.com/TMS. And for everything else you're looking for, is at frogpants.com/TMS. Let's play a song and get out of here. What do you got?
I've got a request, Scott. I'm going to play it. This one comes to us from Erin Flores. She says, hi, guys. My husband, Luis, and I have been listening for a long time, and we love the show. I need your help. This year, my husband's birthday, the big 4-0, coincides with him finishing a bachelor's in science degree. So much to celebrate, but COVID has put major cancellations on anything I had planned. In the past 4 years, he's remained diligent, passionate, hardworking, and continued to be a great provider through the ups and downs. He's the most amazing man I've ever met, and I want the whole world to know it, well, at least the tadpole. If you could help us celebrate his 40th birthday, graduating school, and Valentine's Day by playing an upbeat, happy song, I'd appreciate it so much. You are my everything, Luis, and I'm so proud of you. Love, Aaron.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks so much. You guys are so hilarious and have illuminated all those late night study-a-thons. Cheers. P.S. If you have too many requests for the month, could he get I can see why you like it?
Oh, yeah.
I can definitely see why you like it.
I was ready, man.
Quick.
Yeah.
You were ready. Finger hovering over the button.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, Aaron. You're getting both of them. And congratulations, Luis. Good job. Science, Bachelor of Science. Well, that led me to one very particular song, and you can probably guess what it is, but you may not have expected this version right here. How about a bluegrass version of She Blinded Me with Science, originally by Thomas Dolby, recorded by the band Love Cannon. These guys are awesome. And this comes from their Greatest Hits Volume 1 from 2012. They only released Greatest Hits albums. That's how great this band is. Love Cannon, here's their cover of She Blinded Me with Science.
We'll see you guys for sure on Monday, possibly a bunch of other times this weekend. Bye. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
I'm a lover, and that's why I'm a fighter.
Okay. Whatever,
Yeah.
Alex Jones. Like, that's one guy I could never see in that audience. Could never see him going. Right?
Alex Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's a certain kind of person that would just, they don't want to be exposed.
Mm-hmm.
They would never want to be exposed like this. And that's what